What's happening in self-publishing with Dale here on what the heck is going on with my lights? Hang on a second. What is this? This is a Friday. We're answering comments live, question and answer. If you happen to be watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Make sure, of course, that you hit that little likey button. And if you don't like me, hit the dislikey button so I don't get my stuff served to you anymore. That would be a huge favor to all of us. Thank you so much. Let me fix these dumb lights. The remote on the LEDs, in my infinite wisdom, is placed directly behind the bookshelf. And as you can imagine, my chair runs in there on a regular basis. So if I just bump that, it hits the remote and then it switches it to a different mode. And I think it gets it every time where it's like the sound responsive stuff. Where is this at? It's probably only on that remote. But there's like a sound sensitive one. So if we wanted to have like a disco rave in here, disco rave, that'd be interesting. A little mixture of like early 2000s raves to like 1970s disco. That sounds bad, actually. I'm sorry. All right. Hey, we're going to go ahead and answer some questions and comments live here on the channel. I already saw some folks that have some for me loaded up. You want to stick around to the very end because you're going to find this very insightful. A lot of people are going to put some comments that maybe you didn't otherwise think about asking, or maybe you were too afraid to ask. Folks, I can't express this enough. It means the world to me when you drop a comment. I do appreciate all the support, and one of the greatest ways to kind of help me, help you, help other people out is to post a comment. It really is. I get sometimes where some people will reach out to me via email, and I always give people the one question rule. If I've met you at least once through email, I'll answer one question for you. And after that, I say, hey, please post it on the videos or join one of our communities. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I literally get dozens of direct messages and emails every day. And if I were to take that time to coach each and every single person there, I'd go broke. I wouldn't be able to ever get to my work. So drop your comments inside the videos because we'll be able to do these type of things here on the Fridays. It's been fun so far. I will let you know that this next week, it won't be on the Friday at the normal time. The reason is I actually have some personal things I have to attend to at this hour here. So I just didn't want to let everybody kind of like down if you're looking forward to these Fridays. All right. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to some folks. Look, my live chat's not working in OBS, so I'm going to do my best to keep up with you. Big shout out over to, let's see, your first person in the house, Alexis Salil. Alexis asked a question, and Alexis, I'm going to get to that in just a moment because I want to say hi to Samantha Michaels. Well, the very first person to be a channel member here. You might be saying, what is a channel member, Dale? Okay, it's like subscribing to this channel on steroids. All right, it's one of the greatest ways to help contribute to the cause and pay for a little bit of the overhead costs in order to produce this show here on this channel as well as on the main channel. So to find out details, if you are on desktop, not mobile, you'll see a join button right down below this video, and you're just going to click that join button. If you happen to be on mobile, just next time you're on desktop, take a look. I really keep meaning to put a link to the channel memberships inside my descriptions, but here we are. Today's broadcast is brought to you by North Street Book Prize, folks. Go get yourself enrolled in the 2021 class for North Street Book Prize. Grand prize is worth $5,000 in cash, as well as additional prizes on top of that. And there's 6 different categories. The top winner from each one of those categories is going to get $1,000. The deadline, folks, is right around the corner. It's on June the 30th, 2021. All right, you got to get it in there. Don't miss out on this. All right, and if you do get your book into there and you do win, please let me know, and I will personally send you a handwritten letter and some banana stickers to congratulate you on that. Head on over to winwriters.com/Dale21 today to get your book enrolled. All right, I'm going to keep moving along here. Gold MMO King, thank you so much. Another one of the first channel members. We got 5 channel members so far. Thank you so much to those 5 folks. Joseph Carroll, what's going on, Joe? How you doing, buddy? How you liking this nice, cool weather, man? I got the window open right now. Feeling good. Andy, good to see you. Easy Graphics, my lone moderator, but I think he can handle that. Thomas A. Bradley, who let this guy in the house here, huh? I was actually just thinking about you, Thomas, and I was gonna hit you up over in Discord, and I was like, I got too close to this broadcast. I'll just hit you up. It was just catching up in general. Like the guitar music. Hey, thank you so much. That's actually done by Stream Beats. Harris Heller has a service where they do royalty-free music that you can use for just about anything and everything. I went kind of scouring his catalog, and for some reason I heard that, and I felt like it's a really good tone for a lot of what I do on self-publishing. So yeah, I changed it out because I was using some other copyrighted music that was cleared for the main channel, and I kept on accidentally using it here for the podcast channel. Well, the rights and licensing is completely separate, so I kept getting dinged for that. Nothing bad. It was just a copyright claim on a few occasions, and all I had to do is just remove the music, and then the copyright claim was removed. But I was like, I don't feel like changing music all the time. And I don't know, there used to be the old Self-Publishing with Dale circus style theme, and it worked for back then. I feel almost like this brand has kind of evolved, and that music for some reason just fits right for me. So you'll still hear some of that circus music that on the current crop of videos. We'll probably change that, I'm sure, in the very, very near future. I'm off today and enjoying it. Oh, you got to be loving it. Fred Lucabayo, great to see you. Another late night in Sydney. Oh, wow, staying up there in Australia. Man, I'm telling you, I'm trying to talk Kelly into moving out to Australia. She ain't feeling that, though. Would love to go out and visit, though, as soon as all this stuff clears up. I'm not sure if you guys are still locked down over towards that direction, but it's a little bit more loose here in Ohio. There's no mask mandates. There's a few stores that require you to cover up your face, but beyond that. All right, so let's get to those questions. The very first one actually comes from a live viewer here. Alexis asks, hey, how are you? I'm fantastic. Thank you so much. It's Friday, and you know that. Here's the thing. I know we shouldn't value any one day of the week over the other, but ever since I was a kid, I looked forward to Fridays. And for whatever it's worth, I still enjoy Fridays, even if I end up working through the whole weekend. I don't know. It's a Friday state of mind for me, so I'm super happy. Thank you so much for asking, Alexis. She goes on to say, I'm interested in publishing my dark romance to Ingram Spark. Okay, good. Drafted Digital. Excellent. Publish Drive. And KDP. I don't know what to do. The very first thing I need to ask you, Alexis, is are you an experienced author? Because if you aren't an experienced author, if you've never published a book before, stick to KDP and Ingram Spark for now. Then start adding in those other elements. I would say put 90 days out. In fact, you can probably even go and put your ebook for 90-day exclusivity with KDP Select. Take advantage of their unfair advantage. And then once that 90 days is up, make sure that you unenroll. You could probably do that even partway into your actual contract, is get it to where it doesn't have the automated enrollment system set up. So once the 90 days are up, you won't lapse over into another 90 days. It'll give it to where it gives you a little bit of breathing room, then consider other avenues. Now, here's the thing. Less is more when it comes to going for specific publishing avenues. I would recommend, if you've got the discretionary time, energy, and willpower, go and publish to the big four. That sounds crazy. I know it'd probably make it so much simpler if you went over to Drafted Digital, Smashwords, or Publish Drive. But the fact of the matter is they take out from your bottom line. Hit the big four, because I found, historically speaking, for myself as well as clients that I've helped out in the past, the biggest number of sales come from the big four. Now, you're probably saying, what's the big four alternatives? That is Apple Books, Barnes & Noble Press, Kobo, and Google Play Books. All four of those avenues treat me pretty well, and I discovered that by using aggregate publishing, sure, it saved me time, but then I looked at how much I was losing on a yearly basis, and I thought to myself, how long would it just take me to sit down and actually do all this myself? And I believe I did a video at one point or another based on publishing wide, and it took me all of maybe half hour, 45 minutes tops, and I'm sure I probably edited it down inside the video. it doesn't take too long. Some of the user interfaces are a little clunky, like Apple's not the best. So that's probably going to have a big learning curve on it. Barnes & Noble Press, pretty easy. Kobo is excellent. If you can do KDP, you can do Kobo easily. And Google Play Books is okay. Get those 4 first. Then tap into the aggregate publishers for the other small things. And I hate to call them small, but there are smaller distributors that don't draw as much sales as the big 4 alternatives or Amazon. But let's not look over the fact that, well, if we are allowed to publish our stuff across as many places as possible, why not just go ahead and just take that extra step? You can get platforms like Drafted Digital, highly recommend it, and Smashwords. Smashwords comes with a little bit of an asterisk next to it. There is a steep learning curve on what they call the meat grinder. I am not kidding. They call their auto formatting interior system for ebooks the meat grinder. Why? I don't know, but I'll tell you this much. If you don't know how to use that thing, you will be cursing for long. Trust me, even if you've never cursed a day in your life, you will be cursing. You'll be speaking in tongues. But as soon as you figure out the system, it's rather simple. In fact, I have a video that's probably, it's got to be at least 4 years old, if not closer to 5 years old, where I show how to format your ebook interior for Smashwords, so that way the meat grinder isn't spitting you out and making you do everything all over again. But yeah, Drafted Digital, Smashwords. Now, I'm going into Publish Drive, and I'm going to handle this in the... I don't want to make this seem disparaging, because I really was a huge fan of Publish Drive back in the day. About a few years ago, actually it's probably been about a couple years ago, they went from being a revenue share model like Smashwords and like Drafted Digital. Okay, they just take a small portion of the revenue, where Publish Drive is now giving you 100% of your revenue, but you've got to pay a monthly subscription to them. Now, I believe Publish Drive is great for the established author and the author who knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're going to be pulling in at least enough book sales to justify the monthly subscription fees. Because if you're selling 1 or 2 ebooks per month using the Publish Drive avenue of the subscription-based model, you're going to be losing money. Publish Drive is winning on that one. So I would say if you're an established author, definitely look at Publish Drive. And when I say established, if you're driving at least $1,000 in revenue on any one given book, then Publish Drive might be the option for you. And then you just delist it probably from whatever other avenues, so you can take advantage of the full net profits. Now, when I say you get 100% of your revenue, don't forget that each distribution platform still takes a percentage. As an example, Publish Drive distributes out to Apple. So you're going to get, and I think they're a 70-30 split. So Apple takes 30%, you get 70%. Now, if we look at the model of Smashwords and Drafted Digital, which is revenue share, they're taking about 15% of the net profit before it comes to you. With Publish Drive, you're already paying up front for a subscription, pretty much for the right to be paid all of your earnings. So you would then take 70% from Apple, as opposed to over here, where you're going to get about 85% of that 70%. You see the algorithm just kind of, I need to probably put a GIF up of that, you know, popping in front of you. All that to say this, that Publish Drive is a great option. Established authors, I think, should definitely look into it. I'm pretty excited about the fact that they have ebook, print book, and audiobook distribution all in one spot. So if you are an established author, it's a good avenue. And not to mention, the thing that establishes Publish Drive different from those other 2 companies is they have integration with Amazon advertising. Those other 2 platforms don't. Have I used it before? No. Have I ordered any of their print books yet? No. Will I do it? Eventually. So didn't want to sound like I was disparaging about Publish Drive, but I just would say that if you can justify the monthly subscription, go ahead. But if you're doing it just for the sake of reaching even more avenues, I would say hold off for now. So, and there was one other avenue I think you had mentioned. Don't forget about audiobooks, okay? Audiobook Creation Exchange is still a viable avenue. I'm not too happy with them, but they're making progress since Audiblegate of last year. And if you're not familiar with that, just go back to my podcasts. I've talked about it a couple times. And Findaway Voices. Findaway Voices is simply fantastic. They were up to 43 different platforms. I think they dropped back down to 40 because they ended up pruning some of the distribution avenues they had available. Like one of them probably went out of business and a couple others just wasn't working out or something. I don't know. But either way, Findaway Voices is always evolving and looking out for the indie author. I highly, highly, highly recommend them. All right, let's get to the comments, folks. Otherwise, I'm going to be jib-jabbing all day long. Smashwords is okay, but you need a U.S. tax identification number. I wouldn't think that's going to be too hard for you to get, Wayne. I know some people have done that before. I know that's... It's almost like asking someone like, hey, do you know where my keys... Oh, it's somewhere around here. You think? Fred, Apple does too. Please repeat who the big four is and are. Elvin, I'd be happy to. By the way, what's going on, Elvin? I see you over there. Big four. Amazon Alternatives. Apple Books. Barnes & Noble Press. Kobo. And Google Play Books. Now, bear in mind from time to time, Google Play... They accept applications to open an account with them. And sometimes they just approve you right away. And for whatever reason, sometimes they go, no, we're good. Or they don't even respond at all. So just look up published on Google Play Books and it'll be able to pull up that information for you. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. We're going to go over to screen share and just a little bit of context here. On the right-hand side, you will see the video, and that will be kind of just telling you what's the video. And on the left-hand side, you will see the commenter and their name. So keep in mind, every now and then, some people say some racy and rather edgy stuff in their comments. So if you've got kids... Your discretion advised. All right, so Mikhail McCann. By the way, Mikhail, I see you. You've been posting a lot of comments, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. FYI. Oh, my gosh. Can I tell you about FYI? No, I won't get down that little avenue. I used to have a boss that would say FYI. And I'm like, you know, you can probably just say for your information or just drop the FYI part and just tell me what you got to say. But that's just me. If you do Kindle Vella and one of the episodes gets blocked because it was published somewhere in Amazon, either erase it or do it over and add it to one of the previous episodes. Had this problem, just erase the whole thing. So just giving you all a heads up on that. It's a real pain when you get blocked episode notice and it can't be fixed, period. Got one other SF, I'm assuming science fiction story of 2 episodes on Kindle Vella. I got to do more, but I'm tied to a book right now. Thanks for the tip. There we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You get a thumbs up and a heart. Mabel Bridge says, hello, Dale. Hey, Mabel. Do you think it's wise to publish my first book on KDP Select as a means to build an audience? Absolutely. At least give it the first 90 days. After that, reconsider going wide if you're not getting a good return on KDP Select. Boom, reply. Thumbs up, heart on this one. Oh, I see Alexis. All right, so Alexis says, Dale, do I have to have the same ISBN for all my paperback books, whether upload to Ingram, Spark, or KDP, or some other platform? No, you don't, but it's a good idea, because otherwise what's going to end up happening is there's going to be so many different versions of your book populated and crossed everywhere else with all these different ISBNs. It just becomes a mess after a while. If you're going to go through all that extra measure, I'd highly recommend get your own ISBN. But I do understand that, like, for instance, you're going to be using Ingram Spark. They give free ISBNs in the US only right now, folks. And they didn't talk about expanding anytime soon. So, then you go over to, say, KDP and use their free assigned one. Now, here's the problem. You're going to have a bit of a clash because Ingram is going to load it over to Amazon. So now you've got two different versions of your book that it's going to have a different product page, and there's going to be some type of a clash. So I just recommend, and I know it's probably not your preferred avenue, but I would say if you can, purchase an ISBN. So that way the paperback is going to be the same on Ingram Spark as it is on Amazon, as it is across all platforms, and there's no ambiguity about which one is the true book, such as yours. And it also can be equally bad if you have all these different versions and you don't know what is what, because let's just say that you start to sell enough copies that you draw the attention of pirates, because there are book pirates out there. They will look for things that they can go ahead and, rob. And so here's the thing is, they could go and just create something, and here you won't fully know that because you have all these different versions of your books on the marketplace. Let's be fair. Let's be honest. No one's memorizing their ISBNs. No one's going on there and being like, ooh, that ISBN's just slightly off. And it's not like those platforms are going to send you notifications about your books being published underneath a different ISBN. So there is that little case right there. Having one ISBN will help you kind of determine, oh, there's two ISBNs on here. Well, that doesn't make sense because I only published one with one ISBN. Then you can be able to easily track down which one's the pirate. So there you go. Moving forward. Thanks, by the way, Alexis. I appreciate it. Drafted Digital refused to publish my books paperbacks because they are all 7 on KDP. Are you voice texting, Mojo? S. Rose, what's going on? Going to catch the rest of the show on the replay because I usually have your videos running as I write for more watch time on your end and inspiration for me. Good day. Thank you so much, Rose. I appreciate that so much that you go back and you watch that. Yeah, I could tell you know the business. Either you're a YouTuber yourself or you're just aware of the business. That watch time is king. Thank you so much for going back and watching this on the replay. Alrighty. I want to make sure. Glad to see you keeping on the grind. Thank you so much, Rose. I appreciate that. Ooh, do you think starting an author Facebook and doing a like campaign a month out from launch is a good use of funds? It can be based on the audience. I'm now starting to work with Facebook ads, finally. And I'm doing the same thing myself where I'm driving a campaign with a video, pretty much promoting self-publishing with Dale to like the page. But the problem is, and since I'm in such a niche audience, the cost per click is it's substantially high. Like, I've gotten it to bargain basement worldwide at about 5 cents per like, but I've had it go up to as much as 56 cents per like. In fact, if I get really targeted on my audience, it definitely never goes below 50 cents. So I guess it depends on your audience. That would be the thing. What's your cost per click? If you could keep it, I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but if you can keep it at 10 cents or lower for driving a like, I mean, 1 cent would be, that would be fantastic, obviously, because then you can really boost up things. Not to mention, if you get it like 10,000 likes on your business page, on your author page, and you start to stream videos and such, you open up a new way to monetize over on Facebook. And I think it's called the Facebook Creator Program. So that's just kind of one way to look at it. So long story short, I would say depends. And also, there's just too many factors to kind of account for. Like, do you know Facebook ads? Because if you don't know Facebook ads, I would discourage against it. Because right now I've got the discretionary expense to kind of play around and lose a little bit. just so I can kind of figure out the system. And I also have someone that I'm working with that helps me get things all tweaked out, which, by the way, highly recommend. Go take a look at a channel. It's his channel's Lester Diaz. Lester's got a fantastic thing. Not a friend of mine or anything else like that, but I picked up his course. It was fantastic, about building out Facebook business pages. So if you're interested in leveling up your Facebook business page, maybe consider getting his course. I think it's like less than $100, like 97 or something like that. Do you recommend or trust free barcode generators, or do you simply use the paid ones from Balker? No, don't pay Balker any more money than what they are already getting. I'm saying that from a jaded standpoint for the reason that Balker is a monopoly. It's garbage. It's trash. The fact that they get to control the narrative. And I think that international standard book numbers need to be a lot more affordable. I mean, Canada is a great example in that you can get it for free. Yes, there are some things, some hoops you got to jump through, but you know what? I think it's really, really nice. To me, I think Balker, it's a bunch of garbage. The fact that if you got to pay $1,500 in advance for 1,000 ISBNs in order to get a price cut of $1.50. You do one, it's $125. Not to mention, Balker is all about getting as much money out of you as possible. So you're asking, do I trust the free barcode generators? Yes, there are some that I do trust. I believe actually a friend of mine, and I don't know if this is on the news schedule this week or it was this past week and I might have skipped it. But over at, ebookfairs.com, I think it is. Give me just a moment. I'm going to look this up. Okay, that is. Okay, I know he has a barcode generator he just created, and the guy who runs this, Kenny, is just a fantastic dude. A barcode maker. There we go. So let me go ahead. I'll drop this in here. I will tell you this right now. I 100% trust this gentleman here. Kenny is a quality human being. You go on over, take advantage of it. By the way, look at his ebook fairs too. It's kind of a nice way to do collaborations at a pretty inexpensive cost. But yeah, Kenny puts together some good stuff. So if you're going to use the free barcode generator, use that one. Just to let you know, like Kenny is like next level smart when it comes to IT and everything that comes to computers. So he pretty much put this together, and it's going to be a great solution for you. So highly, highly, highly recommend you take a look at that. Great question, by the way. I appreciate that. But yes, all that to say this, don't give Balker more of your money. I'm sorry, Balker. Until you can kind of walk back that pricing on single prices, to me, I think that you're just treating each and every single one of us authors as dollar signs. And I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that. Why can't we make ISBNs available for about $1.50 across the board instead of saying, well, you've got to buy 1,000 ISBNs? That's trash. If it costs you $1.50 to give me that many, why couldn't it cost $1.50 to give me a single? So, all right, moving forward. I get on a rant here, folks. When you get your ISBNs from Balker, necessary in US, you should hold your arms in the air when you purchase because you're being robbed, but you don't have a choice. Yeah, it's, hand over your money. If you're in the US and you need an ISBN, if you're in the UK and you've got Nielsen. Nielsen's pretty much the equivalent of Balker. You guys are over there kind of getting robbed as well on them. Though some of their price breakdowns are cheaper overall. At least when you look at the exchange right now. So Caleb, what's going on? I didn't even see you sneak in there. Thomas, certainly seems that way. Yeah. 10K is the goal. I've seen ways to get 1 to 5 cents more expensive gets more US and UK likes. Yeah, more expensive because you're getting more dialed in. Tier 1 countries. What is going on, Walter Wyburn? I didn't see you slip in there. I'm sorry, my chat's fouling up, so I've got to look above the camera in order to actually see some of the comments here. If you ask a question and I missed it, my apologies. Please do put it inside the chat again. My chat window just started fouling up before I went live, and I wasn't about ready to just disconnect. I'm just going to have to do the inconvenience of looking up. All right. Salom DR says, thanks for touching upon a very sensitive issue, ISBN. Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for watching and commenting. Boom, there we go. Our CRCA, who is now a subscriber for the past 9 months, says, I've published 3 books in an urban fantasy series and I'm currently distributing them through D2D, but the main places that I'm getting sales from is Amazon, and most of them is when they're listed as free books or either perma-free or for promos. So I've been seriously considered going back to just publishing my ebooks through KDP, but still formatting them through D2D, as well as continuing to publish my paperbacks through D2D and enrolling all the ebooks in KDP Select. Oh my gosh, this is a long comment. But some of the books have been purchased by my local libraries through Overdrive. Will KDP still let me enroll them in Select? If I unpublish... Okay, so I'm going to answer this one like right away. Like, if a library purchases that, that is not considered available for distribution because the library is still a customer. So the library is going to be treated in the same way that I'm treated if I were to buy your book. So yeah, you don't need to sweat that. If you're looking at Overdrive, picked up a copy, they bought it at a specific library or whatever, you unenroll it from distribution through Overdrive or any aggregate that you're shooting it out to. As soon as you've confirmed that it's no longer available for distribution on those platforms, you can then go to KDP Select. So it can be a pain in the butt sometimes checking those avenues, but it's always a good idea to double check. So, all right, where was I at? And I've been trying posting my ebooks on Wattpad too. Awesome, because of all the chances they offer fiction writers through Wattpad Studios. Sweet. So if I enroll my ebooks in KDP Select, will I have to remove them from Wattpad too? Yes. Again, it depends. If you have the ebook that you want to put in KDP Select, it only is related to that specific ebook, not your other ebooks. Like if you've got a different publication or manuscript, and that doesn't, it's just each individual ebook that you enroll is what it regards. So if that is enrolled in KDP Select, Wattpad's out the question. Wattpad's out the question. So, let's see here. And just to put it out there, would you ever consider doing a video on the pros and cons of Wattpad? Possibly. You will find from time to time that, and I don't want to do this to frustrate you guys or demotivate you, but from time to time when I don't address a specific topic, it's because it's super narrow, it's super niche, and not many people are looking for it. Wattpad is one of those ones that has questionable search volume and watch time across different channels. And most times when Wattpad is brought up, it's typically like in the author tube community. So it's a completely different subset of viewers. So with that being said, I'm just going to be honest. I find it doubtful that I'll probably cover Wattpad because it's just a different audience and there's just not that much search volume to be had. I have to approach this business in YouTube in a very smart fashion. Now, what's my opinion about Wattpad? I'm seriously on the fence. I've never really gone and dug deep into it because I just viewed it quite a few years ago. One of my clients was working on it and it's kind of like a fan fiction site. And I was just like, eh. So essentially it's like Medium, but for fiction authors. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, whatever tripped your trigger, go for it. But sorry, RCRCA, I probably won't cover Wattpad, but I could end up walking that back considering that Wattpad is the same business model as Radish, is the same business model as Kindle Vella. So there might be a chance that I might end up doing, like I say, like a 3-way comparison because Kindle Vella is like white hot right now. A lot of people are looking this up. They want to know more information about it, which, by the way, thank you so much for supporting the channel, folks. You went and watched the news segment where I talked about Kindle Vella being launched in July. I don't know where they're getting their information, but there's that. 16 of you watching, thank you so much for joining me here on this Friday. If you're enjoying this broadcast so far, please hit the thumbs up. If you're disliking it, hit the thumbs down, and then you won't ever have to see my videos offered to you again. Because I've heard mixed things. Some are really encouraging, some are ambiguous. So, wow, this is a lot of questions to unpack here. So, don't sweat. Distribution to Overdrive. I need to word this a little bit better. Wow. This is a lot to unpack. Okay. Overdrive. We're just going to kind of keep this brief. If they bought your book and you pull distribution, you should be good. Overdrive is the customer, much in the same way anyone who buys your book on Amazon or elsewhere. All right, next one was I've been trying to Wattpad. Wattpad. I'm not sure if I'll work that into the future topics, but we'll see what I can do. Like I said, I think it probably would work if there was like a three-way comparison, because Wattpad, Radish, and Kindle Vella are being talked about a lot lately. Doing a video, blah, blah, blah. And if you're enrolling one book or ebook in KDP Select, you must remove it from distribution on Wattpad. Cool. Thanks for watching and commenting. Boom, there we go. Another one down. All right, one more comment and we'll move to the main channel next. Samantha, did I say hi to you? I don't know if I said hi to you. I got the email from Kindle Vella that my story will be launched in July, so we shall see. Okay, so that's how their information's coming. Good to know, because that was what I was mentioning on the news segment this past week, was like, where are they getting the information? Because they were saying, well, there's going to be a July release of Kindle Vella. Back when they had launched it out to the public, they were saying, well, it was going to be an ambiguous, it'll be in a few months. What they were waiting for, they were kind of curating as much content as they possibly could, so that way when they launched the app, the customers had plenty to consume, rather than like, hey, we're going to binge a bunch of stuff. Oh, well, we're out of content. So they were kind of backing that up. But now that Samantha Michaels, very reliable resource in my opinion, she had shared that she had published or uploaded some stuff to Kindle Vella, and they let her know that it's going to be out in July. So if you ever hear any specific date, please, Samantha, hit me up. That would be super awesome. Anybody else that gets a specific date, that would be fantastic. Stay tuned, because I'll be continuing to cover Kindle Vella in, I'm sure, the coming months, for sure, for sure. All right, RCRCA says, I feel almost like this must be like a tongue twister, their name. Hey, Dale. I had to halt my second audiobook in mid-production because my narrator had to drop out due to personal reasons. Oh, that sucks. I've already been thinking about just trying to produce and narrate the book myself so I could distribute through Findaway Voices instead of just ACX, but all I have to do so are my iPhone, iPad Mini 2, and the GarageBand mobile app. So I could use your advice on what type of low price but good quality mic that I could purchase off of Amazon that might be compatible with my phone and tablet, along with anything else you might suggest. I'm really stuck working with a limited budget, but I don't just want to do a dump and publish type of thing. I want to publish the best audiobook that I possibly can. Also, this book is the second in an urban fantasy series, and the original narrator already narrated the first installment. So if you have any advice on how I should handle the performances of the characters compared to his, or just do my own take, I would greatly appreciate. Wow, that sucks about your narrator. Man, this is really rough, because I get it. I'm over here, and there are other experts over here going, you got to publish audiobooks, you got to publish audiobooks, and then it kind of creates this almost this stress, this undue stress for you to have to fulfill these things because you say, well, gosh, Dale, you said in order for me to succeed, I've got to have ebooks. I've got to have a paperback. Hardcover is even better, and audiobook is essential. I got to get this on out here. The reality is, folks, sometimes some of those things just won't work out for you at the time that you go for it. Please understand that if all you publish is an ebook or all you publish is a print book, I still 100% support you in the decisions that you're going to make. Will audiobooks give you an edge over other authors? Yes. But don't do it to spite yourself, to just hack away mentally speaking, going, I have to do this. No, you don't. Actually, you don't have to. So in an instance like an iPhone, iPad Mini 2, and the GarageBand mobile app, which GarageBand's pretty fantastic, but is it good for doing audiobooks? I don't know. I would be interested to see if someone could kind of jerry-rig something that they could do something on mobile. Probably the best idea would be find a closet space, fill it up with as much clothes on the racks as you possibly can, put your mic right up in front of that, hit record. So that way, at least it deadens the sound when you're recording and gets it to where you're making the best of the situation that you have. So as far as mobile mics goes, I really don't know. I don't want to be talking out my rear end, but you can't go wrong with Shure. Shure always puts out great products, and Rode. So there we go. I recommend any Shure or Rode mic products. Another great company I'm playing with recently is Deity. But you can anticipate spending at least $50 to $100 for a good mic and adapters. Sorry if I'm not sharing this here with you folks. Yes, it's aware. Philip, I'm going to get you in just a moment. Here. I see you ask a question. Can you anticipate spending at least $50 to $100 for a good mic and adapters when you record? Isolate yourself. A good closet with lots of clothes and blankets hanging up can deaden the sound perfectly. The rest, you're going to have to figure out. Let me know how it goes. There we go. RCRCA, I really appreciate it, man. You're always dropping some really good comments. Much appreciated for sure. Okay, I'm gonna hit the refresh on the comments and see if I got any new comments that were rolled in. Nope, none. Held for review. Nope, none in there. So we're gonna come on up here to the headshot again here, and I'm gonna go ahead into the main channel. Before we do, I had a live viewer question. If you got a question, please load it up here. And if you're enjoying today's broadcast, please do me a huge favor and share it across social media. You can tag me over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. That would be appreciated. Self-Pub with Dale. By the way, today's broadcast is brought to you by the fine folks over at North Street Book Prize, the 7th annual version of this, where you can possibly win $5,000 in cash and additional prizes and awards. It's really nice. 6 different categories. Each of those 6 categories, the top person gets to take home $1,000 cash. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Where do I get signed up, and what's the deadline, Dale? Well, you better get on over to winningwriters.com/Dale21 right now, right this second. That way you can take a look at the information and then go ahead and enroll your book in the North Street Book Prize competition. The deadline is June 30th this month. Hurry up. We're only 5 days left here, folks. And then that fear of missing out will be pretty founded. You know, you're going to probably be missing out on some really awesome stuff. So many different great opportunities. All right, we're on over on the main channel. Here we go. Damien, who's a subscriber for the past 7 months. Oh, you know what? Philip, I'm sorry about that. I just blazed right on past it. Darren Powis, how you doing, buddy? I always think about you. For some reason, your book always pops up. Where is it? There it is. It somehow keeps shifting from one shelf to the next. But I think about you often, buddy. All right. Philip asked a question earlier. My book, War of Worlds, 1960s, available from Lulu as ebook and from Amazon as a paperback. Awesome. Very good. Can you publish on Lulu and Amazon at the same time? Lulu offer a poor percentage for Amazon. You get a better rate from Amazon Direct. Can you publish through Smashwords too? Yes, yes, and yes. Yeah, you can. You can absolutely do each one of those. Just make sure that if you have your ebook enrolled in KDP Select, you cannot go publish wide, because you're agreeing to be the ebook alone for 90 days there. Does not affect the paperback or audiobook distribution. So Philip, just continue to use those as you see fit. But yeah, you can go ahead and do Lulu. Just a heads up, I'm a friend with some of the folks over at Lulu, and you know, they're a great company. They've really turned things around over the past few years and really started to step into the forefront. My biggest complaint when it comes to Lulu is just their payout. Like, they pay you quarterly. So just fair warning, Philip, you're going to get paid out quarterly, as opposed to Amazon, where it's going to be, you get paid 60 days after the close of every month, and it's going to be monthly as opposed to quarterly. I'm amazed that, because they just recently, it was early 2020, that Lulu switched to a new user interface. I'm so surprised they didn't switch the payout model, because Smashwords used to be like that as well. They only paid out quarterly. And it kind of sucks, because if this is the pay that you're relying upon, and even if it's a small amount, every little bit counts and it adds up. And sometimes waiting quarterly for a paycheck is just no way to make a living. So I need to probably start lobbying with them to change that payout structure, because it's just, it's not good. I'm trying to think of the most tactful way of saying it. So, but love Lulu otherwise. Great high quality products. In fact, I think Darren Powis was done on Lulu. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong on that one, Darren. Perhaps aliens are moving the book around when you're not looking. Oh no, it's me that's constantly moving it around, because I'm trying to make room on this bookshelf for everything I can. I think my books are going to start to spread out into the rest of the bookshelves, which are filled with just boxes at this point. Alrighty. All right. Do you know any book layout designers for a cookbook? Yes. Home Cook Chronicles. You can look into Archangel Ink. I've used them personally myself. It depends a lot upon how many pictures that you have in there, because there might be some limitations, but I would recommend you go take a look at archangelink.com or use my affiliate link, which would be so awesome and fantastic if you did that. dalelinks.com/archangelink. I'm looking into a service called Formatted Books. It's exactly how you think it's spelled. Formattedbooks.com. Stay tuned to the main channel, because I'm actually going to be doing I'm going to be working with them. They've been waiting for the longest time. I like them, and I know for sure they do cookbooks, because I've seen one of their cookbooks and it is really good. Like, they do excellent work. I share Archangel Ink only because I've had personal experience. Formatted Books, I have not had personal experience, so I can't 100% get behind them just yet, but what I've seen so far of them looks magnificent, and I've met the two founders, and they are great people, like, honestly. So I'm looking forward to working with them. What's going on, Kevin McGuire? How you doing? Derek Book says, good afternoon from a long way away. Where are you at, Derek? I finally made it through the differing time zones to a live stream. Yeah. Alexis says, I'm interested in doing an audiobook for Find Away Voices. I want to do the voices shared, but I won't have the money up front. Can I pay the fee later? I think how it works, now I could be off on this one, because see, I always just, when I've distributed Findaway Voices, I've never used any of their narrators. They come at a higher price point, and for good reason. Very talented crew there, and their vetting process is super, super thorough at Findaway Voices. But I don't know how payment works. If it works anything like ACX does, you pay after they deliver. So this depends on how long it's going to take. Will it be like something like they will make the work available and then you can pay whenever you want? Nah. You know, in order to get distribution, you're going to have to pay up front. So sadly, there's no way around that one. So sorry. Damien says, hello, Dave. Okay. You mean Dale, but we'll just put that on autocorrect. How can we increase the global ratings of a book? Ask more people to leave reviews and ratings on your title. How about this? We'll say assure them if they don't have the time to a review, a rating only takes one tap. Great question. I guess I've never really thought about that. Now that they've kind of implemented something like Goodreads does, where people can put in ratings without any reviews. They don't need to put any context. They can just simply go in and 1-star your thing if they felt like it. And they can 3-star your thing or 4-star your thing. So that's actually been going on for about the better part of a year that Amazon adopted the new rating system. And I guess I've never thought about that. Increasing global ratings, probably one of the best ways to do that is in your call to action at the end of your book, or even just in your newsletters and things like that is, hey, if you don't have the time to leave a review, if you just take 2 seconds to just tap this right here and give a rating to my book, that will help out somewhat. I'm wondering though, like how long are they going to keep that rating system, or how much they're going to kind of gate it? Because what's to stop a bunch of foreign outsourced VAs that go in and just buy $50 a product and then just start dropping ratings on a bunch of books and such? A very garbage tactic that could probably be very well possible, if not already being done. So, but when it comes to like the rating system, if you want to do that, but that's great. That's actually an excellent question. You get a banana sticker, Damien. If you happen to be watching this, please hit me up and I'll drop it to you in the mail. Great vid as always. Thank you so much, Al Farouk. So how about selling ebooks on your own website? Do you recommend using Lulu also, or selling them directly by us, and why? Another question, if you please. How about ISBN and ASIN for selling both paperbacks and ebooks by Lulu or by us directly from website? Oh my gosh. I don't know how to unpack that last question. Let's answer the first one. You know, I'm not entirely sure. Let's look. Lulu Express. I know they do print. Yeah, ebooks. They do ebooks as well. So yeah, you can do ebooks with Lulu Express. Yeehaw? I just want to say yeah. Come on, what are you doing to me here? Sure. Lulu is a good company. If you want to go real cheap, use a PayPal button for your ebooks. Then send the customer a download link after checkout. Can you restate the last question? I'm not sure what you're asking. And there we go. iOS, that's pretty good. Thanks. So I say iOS. Screw you. You have to do more syllables by saying iOS. I just say iOS. Screw it. Judge me all you want to. I put my book on Findaway Voices and got -1 sale, so I lost 3 cents. I'm not sure how that even works. Contact support. That doesn't sound right. I don't want to thumbs up that. That's horrible. Hi Dale, I'm looking for your course. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Please send a link. You got it. https DIYpublishing.biz/free. That's the beginner's course. The full course is set to launch later this summer. Yeah, capitalize. Come on, Dale. Yeah, so if you're not aware of it, if you're already inside the DIY publishing course, you're probably one of very few people that have access to it. The best way to probably get your hands on the current iteration of the full course and such, get into the beginner's course, complete it, because when you get completed, it actually redirects you to getting the subscription-based service and such. But I'm keeping it away from public eyes because right now we're going through a complete overhaul of the entire course. Now, that's not to say that the course is horrible by any stretch, but a lot of it was shot in 2018 and it was run by a script. And now I've become so much more comfortable on camera and there's more insights that I have that can really enhance the experience for a lot of people. The very first one out the gate is going to be, I'm going to take care of the beginner's course. In fact, I'm shooting 3 videos today and I'm really excited about this. It is, I'm beyond pumped. The platform I'm going to end up using it on, you'll actually be able to access it through an app, either through your iOS, because I don't feel like saying OS, or through Android. So that way you can watch the course there. You can watch it on your Roku TV. You can even get it on desktop and laptop. Pretty much any type of, place that can take an app, you'll be able to get the DIY publishing course. So I'm real excited about that direction that I'm headed, because this gets it to where people can be able to learn regardless of their situation, where they're at. So real pumped up about that. Make sure you stay tuned to this channel because you guys are going to learn first and foremost. So I'm beat, just got home. Gotcha. Hello and greetings to you too, Count Scarleone's butler. Yes, Darren says that one was done through Lulu. So we were just talking about Lulu, folks. Which actually, it's so funny. I think I must have categorized these in the same spot because they are Lulu published. So Darren's book here, it's 6x9 glossy cover, cream colored paper with black and white print. Real good. I really like this one. And then this one is actually done by James Morgan. James, good dude. It is a hardback with jacket and a canvas cover. So you see this nice canvas cover. 6x9, of course, and it is cream colored paper with black and white print. Lulu puts out some great products. They do very good printing. Just a heads up. This is why Williams gets popped out every now and then. It's because I pull things off the shelf and it just gets buried back here. Just a heads up. When you're publishing through Lulu, folks, drop your expectations down. Now, I'm not saying that they're horrible or there's anything bad about them. Everybody gets so used to 2-day Prime shipping with Amazon that they kind of forget that print-on-demand fulfillment prior to Amazon Prime, it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to actually fulfill print-on-demand runs. So when you order something through Ingram Spark or through Lulu, unless you get expedited shipping, you're probably going to see your book in about a couple weeks soonest. It kind of sucks, but you do have great print options. There are exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, you're dealing with slower shipping. So yeah, just Ingram Spark and Lulu, when you're putting orders in, just understand it's going to take a little longer than Amazon's fast speed. In fact, if anybody's ever ordered an author copy through KDP, you know. because it takes like 2 to 4 weeks. I will get a book, the same book, and I'll order through Amazon Prime, get it in 2 days, and then take a bulk or maybe even a single title and order it through author copies through my dashboard, and it takes 2 weeks. What the Alrighty. Madeline Zeke. Oh, what a gem. Thank you so much, Dale. This has been a great journey of learning as I continue to help everyone who has one. Nice. You are the best. Madeline. Yes, this is actually featured on the story. And if you're not familiar yet, go over to my main channel on YouTube on your mobile device. This only works on mobile. When you go over to mobile, go over to Self-Publishing with Dale, open that up, and then when you see my profile picture, tap that. You'll be able to see stories. They will sometimes serve those stories up below some of my videos, and then you can just click on that and watch it. Easiest way, go to my profile, hit my picture there, and you actually get to see what we're talking about. I'll share with you right now, actually. This is a very interesting case here. So Madeline Zeke Ruiz, she actually put out a book about, I think it's been a couple years now, at least a year. Okay, so it was actually copyrighted this year. So for some reason I thought it came out sooner. Nonetheless, though, I married a dick doctor who fixes women too. You can see the tongue-in-cheek type stuff here, and it's. Madeline's a gem. I'm telling you, she has so much great insights. So this is a great book, but the problem was advertisers didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, no pun intended. They honestly, just put in the word dick, and it's one thing when it's somebody's name. When it's another thing when you're calling somebody being like a jerk or something like that. But when you're actually referring to the genitalia, Amazon advertising is like, no. Facebook's like, definitely not. So she was kind of running into issue that she wasn't able to advertise this book she poured her heart into. So she ended up retitling it to I Married a Urologist, Keep Your Human Plumbing Healthy. Love this cover, by the way. And I did this through the whole unboxing and such, and I did full comparisons of each one of these. Let me step out the frame here. So you got the before and you got the after. And I think she made a marvelous decision. I don't imagine she's going to get turned down for advertising because it is a bit more family friendly. I would be shocked if she got turned down for urologist. So big congrats out to you, Madeline. That is so cool. I'm very excited to see what things happen with that. All right, we're going to hit held for review and see if there's anything in here. Oh, and it's just spam. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss this out. I'm not going to even switch the screen here for you guys. All right. Great. It looks like that is all the comments for today. We've gone for over an hour now. So that is really, really, really cool. I appreciate each and every single one of you. All right, so I'm going to come on up here to the chat. If you've got questions, please load me on up. Okay, so Easy Graphics says, I changed my review. Request at the end of my books to honest review or rating. Beautiful. Nice. On the platform you purchased this book from or something. Easy Graphics. Ouch. -1 cent. Making a loss on that ebook. It was an audiobook, actually. A customer felt so upset that Amazon gave them 1 cent, or maybe it's a difference in currency. Yeah, that sounds weird. It doesn't measure up, so that's why I said get a hold. I mean, Findaway's not perfect by any stretch, but if you let them know about any kind of issues or discrepancies you have, they're really good about getting back to you. So reach out to the support. They're a good team. I'm happy with the quality of the finish. Yeah. What's best, matte or gloss? My book is 5x8. Amazon is extremely fast. Highly recommended. My test print was awesome. Ah, man, I'll tell you, this comes down to taste. Since you're publishing through KDP, let me pull up a couple of examples. Okay. So this is the KDP Glossy. It's a 6x9. That is white interior paper with black and white print. And this is a matte finish. You can see there's no glare or anything else like that. 5x8. That was 6x9. I might have said 5x8, but it's actually 6x9. This is 5x8. And it is cream colored paper with black and white interior. Generally speaking, if you're doing fiction, I would highly recommend, let me pull the chat down because I'm tired of craning my neck upwards. Generally speaking, if you're doing fiction, interior should probably be cream colored. But if for some reason you decide you want to have it white, that's totally fine. It comes down to taste, man. It really does. One thing that was a great insights that I got from Julie Broad, if you plan on going out and getting some interviews and doing media appearances, one of the worst things to have on set is a book that glares, because you see what happens. And imagine this is all the way in the back and it has all this like glare on it, so people aren't able to read it. With matte, you're able to put that there and there's no glare and people can clearly read that. I like that insight that she had shared with me the one time, and I was like, I guess I'd never thought of that. But so there's that. Go with preference, man. What would you want if you purchased the book? Would it be cool glossy or would it be cool matte finished? It's small things like that, to be honest, that it's small. Because if you're putting out good content, you got a great cover, you've got the demand inside the market, and you're selling those books, it doesn't matter if it's matte or glossy. To me, I think it's going to sell if it's going to sell. So that's not going to hold it back at all. Mine is cream interior and matte cover. Awesome. And if you like it like that, please go with it. If you're at kind of like a crossroads and you're like, I really don't know which one's better, order a proof with the glossy on it. And then just kind of compare and contrast. Maybe take it to a couple friends, have them give you some recommendations. How do you psychologically cope with typos that fall through the gap? My take is that no book is free from mistakes. Yes, ebooks can be continually amended, but paperbacks once printed, ouch. How do I cope with it? One drink at a time. Totally kidding. I don't drink. Drink water. Let's ruin my keyboard. There we go. Honestly, it's gonna happen. You have to keep in mind that it also happens. I think a lot of people put TradPub on this pedestal, and it's great. If you ever get a traditional publishing deal and you have an opportunity and it's really good for you, go for it. Like, I'd never crap on that. My main thing is talking about self-publishing. I think a lot of people think that means that I look at TradPub as being inferior or anything else like that, and anything could be further from the truth. Getting a TradPub deal can be great for a lot of authors, but it really can be tough. I just try to focus on just doing the self-publishing end of things. So know this, that I feel like we're all on equal and level playing fields, and especially if we treat our business, our self-publishing business, like a TradPub company could. Easy for me to say, right? And TradPub companies miss mistakes. I think I had a copy of Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King a handful of years ago when it had first come out, and I picked out a few mistakes in it. It was so crazy. I was like, what? Like a complete wrong word and a typo at some point or another, and I'm like, how did this get through? I'm like, oh, TradPub's not as cool as they think they are. Yeah, the barrier of entry is really, really high, but the product can turn out sometimes the same, if not a little less than some self-pub books. So mistakes happen. You just got to give yourself some room. And if somebody is mean to you or leaves a low review because of it, honestly, those type of people you'll never be able to please. Now, with that being said, if you've got 50,000 mistakes inside your book, that's on you. But if you've got 3, 4 inside this epic novel, don't be so hard on yourself. Just fix it, move forward, and learn from it. So what did I miss, Kevin? First title's awesome. Oh, you just saw the titles of that book. I gotcha. but it marks easily. The matte cover. So does the glossy one. You'll get fingerprints on that as well. You get oils on your finger. It's gonna mark up on things like books. So yeah, I wouldn't sweat that. That's gonna happen no matter what. One drink at a time. Contents of drinks unspecified. Yeah, exactly. Okay, folks, we are going to start to wrap things up because I got to jump into a lot of stuff, including I got to shoot some videos today for the DIY publishing course for beginners that's going to be launching later this summer, and just kind of doing my normal Friday thing. So thank you so much for tuning in, each and every single one of you. If you want to help kind of give back to the channel, one of the ways is to help support this sponsor here, the North Street Book Prize, the 7th annual one. You can win upwards of $5,000 in cash, as well as other prizes. And 6 different categories. You can get $1,000 for first place placement, as well as additional prizes on top of that. The deadline's June 30th this month. June 30th, 2021. 5 days. You're going to go over to winningwriters.com/Dale21 and enroll your self-published book today. No matter when that was published, you can enter it into the contest. Good luck to you. June 30th, winningwriters.com/Dale21. And of course, there are the new channel memberships. I've got 5 channel members. Who's going to become part of the first 10 people that are channel members? We'll find out here. Hit the join right below this here. If you're on mobile, then your chances are likely you're going to have to go back on desktop and find the join, because I was too lazy to put the link inside the description. So there's that. And in the meantime, folks, have yourself a wonderful weekend. I will see you this coming Monday in the broadcast where we're going to talk about copywriting a book.